Hello, this is Skibby, and today I kind of wanted to show off some things that I made and kind of talk through my design process, I guess, because I've been getting into fountain pens and I wanted something to, I don't know, look nice and carry notebooks. I don't know. So, in looking through all that stuff, came across the Traveler's Notebook, which is, I don't know, let's say about this size or so. Swoop. So it's kind of tall. It's A5 slim. I don't know what fell over there. Oh well. Oh, speaking of falling, there's a crunchy up in the window in case he comes crashing down. So, pretty much what the Traveler is just a notebook holder that's got these elastic bands that hold an insert in. And so they're really simple. It's really just a strip of leather that just holds some notebooks. So they have one that is passport size that would hold something like the login jotter, but me being me, I decided to make my own because I haven't had anything to really make out of this Chromexel or this horsebutt strip. So I figured I'd do that. So I kind of want to talk through my design process and the failures that I came across. Yeah, I'm just going to get into it. So for the strap, what I did was I bought a Traveler's Notebook Repair Kit that comes with, they have a little locking thing. I left it out in the garage. Oops. It's a little round tin disc that you feed ends of this cord through, and then you tie it off and then pin it down, so it's kind of decorative but functional also. I didn't end up doing that. I'll show you what I ended up doing. Because I found a gentleman on YouTube, I don't remember his name, but he was kind enough to provide dimensions for passport size, a Fieldnote size, and a standard size. So this is the Fieldnote size. I modified the standard size to, in an attempt to fit an Arthur and Olive size notebook. That didn't end up happening. But I used his dimensions. I'll try and link him down. Probably should have gotten his name. Oops. Video's 10 years old, so people have been doing this for a while. So Traveler's notebooks are pretty popular. He had the suggestion of putting this on the keeper on the back instead of on the Traveler's ones. They're coming out of the middle of the back flap, which I guess is okay. But I kind of like having it in the center back so that you can kind of one-hand your notebook, you know? So you can read it and it's not going to fall out of your hand. No problem. So all these are, like I said, is just a notebook, notebook holder. So it's just elastic that got tied in there. Got some holes. Just looped it back through and tied it up. So it's tight. Then you just open them up, slide it in there, no problem. Now the standard Traveler only comes with a center one, but many times people put in outboard ones because the system that they have to add additional notebooks is like putting a rubber band around the one and adding notebooks on there. So you have 3 notebooks hanging off of one elastic band, and that doesn't do much for the overall thickness, and it gets kind of messy and cluttered. So folks have taken to going outwards That's a good thing about being late to the party, I guess. You don't gotta troubleshoot stuff on your own. Um, so far, this has been pretty nice. This one is the horse butt, which is a little bit rigid, especially for these small notebooks. So it kind of maintains a curve. I'll have to put a weight on it and get all that out, work it in. You know how leather do. But I thought that was pretty cool. And this one was an attempt again for an Archer and Olive. But what ended up happening was I put in, I think this is a Clairefontaine notebook. Best in the world, Clairefontaine. These things are kind of annoying. These metal bits kind of keep it wider. But I really like Clairefontaine paper. I like it better than Rhodia. As you can see, this middle one is not being used because I have a Leuchtturm 1917 in the back, and this is kind of, it demands a lot of space. It demands a lot of space. So, yeah. So, right now, I just have two in here, but I can put a third or so. What I was thinking about was putting in, I have an Apica, I don't know, little shorty, or a Rhodia, because I found that this binding style prefers the staple binding or the stitched binding, where it's just one signature. It really, really likes those, because these ones, which are the glued bindings, kind of take up way more space, and you kind of got to be more gentle because they're bigger. All that to say that bindings that it doesn't like, whoa, that was kind of loud and jarring, sorry about that. This is an MD Midori, or Midori MD notebook, which funnily enough is the same company as Travelers, the Travelers notebook, but because this is a lay flat binding, no matter how you open it up, it's going to lay flat. This doesn't take kindly to the rubber bands that goes also for this Tomoe River lay flat. So the Japanese binding notebooks, not so much, which is silly because it's a Japanese company. But whatever. I haven't tried the Menezine, but I don't think it'll go too well because of it's got that ring. But yeah, so overall, I think this will work. It's kind of thick. I think this would be a really good, I don't know, DEM notebook. So you can keep a couple notebooks separate. You can have lined paper, you can have grid paper. This one's grid paper. You know. So you can keep your notebook separate. You can have a little thin one in there for, I don't know, tear out stuff to hand to your players or something. And so like with this one, because we have the tied off sections at the back, what I ended up doing was putting a smaller format notebook in the behind parts, so you can have even more even more paper. But yeah, and how those are done, that's just a surgeon's knot, which is like a square knot, only on the top cross you go around twice. It kind of binds it up more. I don't have any cordage. How strange. Oh, wait, what's this? No, that's it. What is this? Nope. What is this one? Ho ho! Here we go. So, surgeon's knot. So, square knot, you go over, and this follows back around here. So, we got a square knot, right? Or a reef knot, whatever you want to call it. See, the problem with these is that they can slip because this knot can fold into a lark's head and it can slide off. That's no bueno. So, what you can do instead, you have your cross just like normal, and if you take this one and go around twice, now there's added friction, and I don't know if you saw, this little part tried to bind over strangely, and because of that, it's pretty much just a double overhand, but it binds up on itself, adding more friction, so it doesn't come undone as easily. And that's how you used to tie stuff quick, and it stayed taut. Hence surgeon's knot. And normally you got to cut them to get them off, but since that's just extra stuff, no problem. So yeah, surgeon's knot, tucking it down. Yeah, and these leathers, this one's cow, this one is horse. Neither of them are, well, actually both of them are Horween, who does make Cordovan, but neither of these is Cordovan. But these are a gorgeous, some people call it number 8, but it's burgundy color. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the cow and the horse, but there's a subtle difference. This one, definitely there is a lot of character. I chose this part because I liked all that character. I think this was the front quarter of the cow. So, by the neck and the front arm, you got a lot of use. So there's a lot of character on that I like. But anyway, talking about Archer and Olive notebooks. So my initial idea, that's not my needle. My initial idea was fun wraparound. Archer and Olive make notebooks, and they make them out of very thick paper. Vegan leather, which is just plastic, by the way. So I have a friend who's been looking to add a cover on his. He really likes Archer and Olive because they do gorgeous covers, just gorgeous. The problem is they're a little bit larger. They're not a usual size. Like they are an A5, but they tend to be way thicker because the pages are way thicker. I think it's almost 200 grams per square meter. So it's pretty darn thick. Most of my other notebooks are sub 100, and the Tomoe River is like 52 or something crazy. Just crazy thin paper. Just so baby thin, so baby thin. Anyway, so this had a lot of design issues that I had to overcome because it's considerably thicker. I think this has 200 pages. This one has 160 pages. It's just way thinner. So I had to design around that. What I was going to do initially with this one was have a flap to hold the back cover, and I was going to put a thinner one to hold the front cover, but that way when you open it, again, it's thick, it could move. The front flap could move within the cover so that it would be fine. But I forgot that they had this binding thing. These notebooks also come with a pen holder, which is nifty. So I came up with this design, and initially what it was going to be was I was going to cut these down into straps and cut out like belt loops, I guess, that you would weave the strap through and pull it closed and all. But then I was thinking, that's a lot of work, and at the time it was way late and I was kind of drunk, so I wasn't about that life. So instead, I just rounded off the corners and thought that even with it large and floppy like this, because this is rather large and rather floppy, what somebody could do with it, because this will open up no problem. You can access all your stuff. You could use this section for crafty time, or like as a little mini altar cloth, or as kind of a burn plate. You know, if you're into smells, or what do they call them? Incense. You could burn some incense over here while you're journaling or looking up recipes, whatever you got. And it could all be your little travel size workspace. Because over here, again, this will open up so you have a place to write. And this section can be used for work. No problem. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely too big, like really, really big, but that's almost by design. And you can just use a string wherever that string is that I put, and you can tie it up or get some leather. I might be able to, I know I can, but it would add to the floppitude, I guess, if I punched some holes and tied some thongs on there so you could wrap it around and seal it up. Something to think about. Honestly, this was just a proof of concept. I don't think that it will work for my buddy, who I intended it to work for. But it can work for my partner, so that's pretty great. And you know, I don't know, does something like this interest any of you? Would that be useful to you? Here's an idea. Probably not, but no problems. And I did want to show off these things because I know I like to talk about horse butt a lot. And here's the cow chromexel. The difference is quite striking, honestly. The colors are way different. The texture of the leather, I don't know if you can see how like unblemished this is compared to all of these cow blemishes. And I know you can't feel it, but the horse is a little bit more rigid. Here's a crunchy man, and the cow's a little bit floppier, but they're comparable thicknesses, the horse being even just a little bit thinner. So, horse leather, man. Sir, excuse me. I'm not quite sure why horse meat and horse farming. Sir, you gotta move. Oh, you're gonna kiss your dad. Okay. I don't know why horses for food and leather aren't really that prevalent in the States. I know they are in Europe, but you know, I think it's that Pony Express thing, and they're kind of romanticized. The most magical, non-magical creature or something. I don't know. And here's a crunchy face. Just knocking stuff over with his big tail. With his tail. Anyway, this boy's not gonna leave me alone. So just wanted to pop on, show off my notebooks. They're real simple. It was honestly just cutting giant rectangles and punching holes, stitching up stuff. Not that hard. Yeah, let me know what you think, or if you want the dimensions that I used. I'll probably put those in the description if I can remember. And yeah, hope you guys are having a great one. This Crunch Man is telling me to give him loving. Alright, bye-bye.